Hey, I'm Rocky Canyonero, and this is my Rockwell Canyon Railroad. Well, folks, you may remember a few weeks ago, my railroad was very iced over. You can see some of these older photos here and some video of the ice glacier that came through. I actually had to use my upper pass to get through. Well, the good news is at the end of February, things got a little warmer. We had some nice rain, and I was finally able to get those big chunks of ice out of the way, so that I could use my lower track again and get things going again. Fortunately, some of the ballast was a little bit eroded, so I had to put some shims in under the track. But as you can see, even with some more snowfall around, the train's running around nicely at the end of February. Well, moving forward, we're heading into March now, and the weather has really improved significantly. No snow at all. This past Friday, the weather report was 70 degrees, and it sure happened. And here's the difference. Look at this, guys. No snow at all. Even the grass is starting to green up a little bit. I didn't see any bugs, so that's good. But great day to run trains on Friday. Nice and warm. Partly sunny. Just absolutely great. Alright, so here we have locomotive number 205 and number 252. Locomotive 205 has actually just returned to me from going out to get weathered by J&A Weathering, my go-to source for train weathering. And Jeff did a great job on that, so I'm really, really pleased. Alright, as 252 starts to head down the siding here, it's going to go pick up a train and head off towards St. Patrick's eventually. Alright, well, you can see there's some remnants of snow back there in the grass, but honestly, it's kind of nice to have that there. It's kind of a muddy spot in the yard, so it keeps me from getting my shoes all dirty. Alright, here we are connecting onto our short little freight train here. Track's a little bumpy in that area still. There's some kind of a frost heave going on fairly deep underground that hasn't quite settled out yet, but I'm pretty confident that things will flatten out before we know it, and back to normal operations. Alright, here we go. We're just heading off out of the yard here and onto the main line. Well, this is actually one of my favorite times of the year to run trains. There's no bugs out. You get some warm days like this, but you're not out there sweltering. The sun isn't as strong, so you're not getting a sunburn out in the field. And the other thing I like about it is it's spring. I have the whole season ahead of me, so this is the time when I have any of these ideas that I have that may take a couple weeks to put through. This is the time to really put those dreams to the test and see if they're going to work out, because there's plenty of time to take on a major project right now. And we've got quite a few this year. I mean, we've gone over a few of the ideas that I've been hemming and hawing over, particularly here at Blimpton Quarry. Lots of stuff going to be going on over there. Just a whole transformation of this area. It's going to be a lot more scenic, more structures, more operations with the sidings. I'd like to be able to have place to maybe have a Y track in there, place to turn train around in. We'll see what happens over there. It should be pretty interesting. All right, coming down the Blimpton Viaduct here, heading towards Pont Rochot. You can see I still have quite a bit of tree debris on the ground there, some old cuttings that I haven't cleaned up, and along the railroad bed there, still planning on putting in some 3/4 inch processed gravel to make that a smoother walkway. Just a few little tree stumps and roots along the way that I just want to smooth it out, so that when people are walking along with their trains, nobody has an accident and trips or anything. Alright, so coming along the Domf Boot Viaduct here, things are looking great. The little streams are pumping the water out of there, and It's just fantastic. This section of the viaduct's getting a little bit, it's starting to lean a little bit to one side, but very easy to fix. The trestle is actually just sitting on crushed stone, so a little extra stone on the outboard side there will level things out very, very easily and keep those posts out of the wet conditions, so they'll last a little bit longer. Alright, our train is now pulling into the St. Patrick's Railroad Yard here. Our locomotives have detached and they're heading down to the outer loop here so they can access the sidings. Spring through some of these switches here, save a little bit of time. So we'll back into our cars now. And off they go. Alright, as 252 makes its hitch here, we're coming together with a couple of freight cars that also saw some time over at J&A Weathering. A Rutland boxcar and a Santa Fe car, the Grand Canyon car. Interesting, both of these cars, they're older models, and they really actually weren't painted. They're colored plastic, and they have like an ink transfer graphics on them. So one thing you notice in those cars is without any weathering, they're very shiny. So Jeff has taken time to do like a wash on them to give them kind of a dull coat, and he also highlighted some of the rivet strips to give them a little more appeal, make them look a little more weathered. The Santa Fe car actually painted the roofs, the roof black and the ends black, to give it a little sharper look. Take another closer look at the engine too. He did a light weathering job with the engine, just what I asked for. Darken up those vents. A little bit of streaking coming down some of those cabinet doors, but nothing too crazy. That's how I like it. I appreciate the paint schemes, and I just want a little bit more realism on the models, and that's just how I like it. It's perfect. All right, we'll make our hitch here with the rest of the train, and then we'll head out of St. Patrick's here. I don't know what happened with the video here, but we're coming in a little on a different run here. Obviously I did some editing magic here, but here we go around the corner and kind of get an idea of what St. Patrick's looks like today. It's not very scenic. It's just a simple reverse loop right now. This again is all coming apart this spring. This is one of the major projects. I have this passenger station that actually it's running through right now, and I thought it was going to work out over there, but just not really liking the angle that it's in. So everything's going to get kind of moved over, and I'm going to make a much larger loop in that area and have a little more scenery in there. So hopefully that'll make for a more exciting loop section down there, and a little more inviting area, because that's really where most people are going to be coming to see the railroad. The first point where you come to when you're coming to visit the railroad will be down that area. So I kind of want it to be a little more inviting than it is right now. So I took some shots from down here. The sun's a little intense, but I wanted to have an idea of what it looks like from my lower road that I'm building along down by the railroad. I have kind of a loop of gravel that I'm going to put down there as kind of an athletic trail, kind of a place where I can maybe do some jogging or maybe even ride the bike around, let the kids ride their bikes around through there while the trains are going. Just kind of another little aspect of the hobby, try to combine things. Okay, here we are back at Blimpton. I mentioned trying to put in a Y track. You saw there was a little new switch going in there. So that's finally going to happen this year, and I'll obviously have to bring in some more gravel to make things work on that end. All right, here comes the train, kind of as seen from Blimpton, passing Pont Rocheau and hopping onto the big viaduct to Blimpton. All right, here's some closing photos. Here's our Boston and Maine 205 showing off its weathering job, of course. And basking there in the yard. Get a nice shot of it coming around the corner. You can see some more of Jeff's work, too, with those boxcars in the background. It's been a lot of fun, so... All right, well, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm Rocky Canyonero, and that's how we do trains around here.